Oh, yeah. Greg Wright's real estate team, Fresno, Clovis, Madera, California, Central Valley. Guys, I love to bring value. I'm a high energy real estate agent, so hopefully that doesn't bother you because I don't want to change my personality. I want to be me. I've been doing this for many years on these podcasts. I always like to bring something of value. Um, the Rights team is the top producing real estate team here locally in the Central Valley, handling everything from Porterville, Tulare to the south, down to Merced, Outwater to the north, and we're based out of Fresno, Clovis, and Madera. Office in Madera Ranchos, office in North Park, River Park, Fresno. Guys, that being said, it's a great day today to be alive, and another great day to help people in real estate, buyers, sellers, investors. So we're here to help. Today, grab your pen, grab your pencil, your recorder, whatever you like, cup of coffee. I've got mine. If you haven't figured out, I love my coffee. That being said, today we're going to go over why home inspections, pest inspections, and appraisals are important to a seller and a buyer in real estate. More specifically, homes, but it could be commercial, could even be farms and ranches, but especially on residential and commercial real estate. Here we go, guys. Greg Wright's real estate team. We have a ticker going across the bottom. So you can call and text me for more information. You have more questions, here to help. Been doing real estate in the area for 20 years now, full time. Have a small real estate company. We call the Rights team, REITZ team. You can look at us on Google, Zillow, Facebook. We're everywhere. And we look forward to helping you and answering all your questions. So why home inspections, pest inspections, and appraisal are so important in real estate? Well, the process of buying a piece of real estate, let's say a residential home, you get with a real estate agent, you make an offer. Once your offer is accepted, then you have your due diligence time period. The due diligence time period is typically 17 days from your accepted offer date on that property till the time your due diligence period is over. That means your inspections, your pest, your home inspection, appraisal, everything is done and you're moving forward. After that, you're going to just give time up until about 5 days before the close of escrow. So let's say it's a 30-day escrow, 17 days to do your due diligence period, home inspection, pest inspection, roof, pool, whatever, but at least a home and a pest inspection and the appraisal all in that 17 days. And then after that, it's just a waiting period to about 3 to 5 days before the close of escrow. You'll go through the property to make sure it's in about the same condition as when you made the offer. The only thing really that would happen in between there is going to be a request for repairs. So after you get the inspections and the appraisal, you see if the loan appraiser is asking for any repairs for that home before they'll lend on it. And then the pest and home inspection will tell you what's going on with the property. Then you get with your real estate agent and ask for repairs, called a request for repairs from a buyer to the seller. There may be something on that inspection that says, hey, you should have a pool guy do this pool inspection more thorough than we did, or a roof inspection certification should be done if there's questionable roofing or a pool or something like that. But generally, it's a pest and a home inspection. Go over that with your agent. We'll sit there, we'll go over it with our buyers, and we'll say, hey, what things would you like to ask for? We'll suggest which things you should ask for. It's up to the buyer to decide how many things they want to ask for, and then negotiate back with the seller again. That's how we do ours. And that's typical, both a home and a pest inspection, if the seller doesn't already have one in place. Then after those are agreed on, we'll do a final walkthrough again 3 to 5 days before the close of escrow. And we want to make sure that all the repairs were done professionally if there was any asked for and completed. That's really it, guys. It's not a complicated scenario, but you do need a professional to guide you through the process. Okay. A pest, first of all, a pest and a home inspection. A pest inspection is about $75 in the Fresno area of California right now. And the pest inspections, depending on the square footage and size. So an average home inspection would be, about $375 to $450, depending how big the home is. 1,400 square feet, and then you're going up to 3,500 square feet, could be as much as 500. So, and then if it has a pool and different things, there could be additional costs. but 375 to 475 is about where you're going to be. Okay, and then the pest is another 75 to $80. It's worth doing. The pest inspection will go over everything from termites, leaky plumbing, any noticeable bad electrical hazards, termite infestation, broken windows, exterior flood issue, drainage issues going towards the house, not away from the house, exterior trim and fascia board on the outside, um, dry rot issues, things like that. Those will be noted in a pest inspection. And then a home inspection will go over the similar items, and we'll go over everything from the overall roof, pool, stucco, wood, exterior, fascia board. It'll go over the draining, may go over the sprinkler systems, front and back and timer, hot water heater, AC, air conditioning, windows, appliances, foundation, um, plumbing, electrical, and the list goes on. So that's what home inspection goes over, everything from the top to the bottom. The home inspector may call out and say, hey, there's a few issues on the roof. We suggest that you get a roof inspection. If you get a professional roof inspection and certification, it's about another $350, give or take, and any repairs that need to be done to get certified. You could also ask the seller to do that too. No guarantees they'll agree, but that's typically how we do it. The home inspector may say, hey, the pool's a little bit rough. We think the pump's not working right, or the plumbing isn't right. I recommend that you get a pool inspection. We have all these different inspectors, and that's why you need a professional like the Rights team to help you go through this situation. There's no cost for our buyer services to our buyers on a transaction. Okay, that being said, on an inspection, if the sellers, let me talk to sellers now. Sellers, if you do a home inspection, a pest inspection before you hit the real estate market, it could save you time and money. What does that mean, Greg? What does that mean? It could save me time and money if I'm a seller. Well, when I do a property, let's say I'm selling a rental or I'm remodeling a home to resell, like what you would call a flip, or my personal home, and I'm selling it to move up to another property. A pest and a home inspection will go over everything I just talked about, and it'll allow me a chance, an opportunity for my contractor to come in or handyman to come in and do the repairs that are needed so that we have a certified turnkey house, a more certified, more turnkey home. So, for instance, there may be some termites and we need to subterranean termites, fix that. You may have some dry rot around the wood in the corners of the outside of the house, leaky plumbing. It may need some new faucets. AC may not be working right. So you get all these things dialed in and repaired, and you show the old home inspection to the buyer, you post it online, and the new home inspection that you fixed everything. Same thing with the pest inspection. So you can do that at a much more favorable cost generally than a buyer would to their people. So it gives a seller a chance to sell what I call a certified home, because then you get a pest certification and you say it's certified from the home inspection because all the repairs were done per the home inspection dated on this date. And you do that. Secondly, why is that smart? Because typically if a buyer comes in on a transaction with a seller and they do a home inspection and a pest, which they will do 95% of the time or more, they're going to ask for repairs, and they typically would cost more than what the home seller could do them for, and not have to renegotiate price or lose more money on repairs. Number one, so seller saves money. Number two, the seller knows that they have a good property, makes it more sellable, can command and demand a little bit higher price in the marketplace because they have the pest and home inspection on the computer showing that the home is certified and repairs are all done. Even better if it's updated. So there you go. That's the benefit to a seller. I actually do that every time. So you should know that. I do the pest, and sometimes I'll do a home inspection and do the repairs there too. The home inspection repairs are generally done with the remodel because I'll generally remodel the home, so they get done anyway. So it saves you money on the renegotiation process when you're in a transaction. Sometimes two, three, or four more repairs will still be asked for that the buyer still wants, and then the seller could say yes, no, or I'll do some of them. But you still save a lot of money as a seller, selling a certified home. Number two, buyer inspections consist of the home pest, could be roof and pool that we talked about. That would be a minimum. You want to do that to protect yourself, buyer, so you know what's going on with the house. Sometimes, even if a seller has a pest and a home inspection, you may want to still do a pest and a home inspection. Is it necessary? Well, I would think if the home inspection, the pest inspection is done in the last 90 days or less, probably is not needed. But that's a personal thought that a buyer could have, and they want to do them anyway. Um, and that's fine. Sometimes they do that. Once it's completed, buyer can respond with a request for repairs to the seller. At the same time that you're doing the home and pest inspection, the appraisal will be being done. All of this in the first 17 days of a real estate transaction. On the appraisal portion of it, that's also ordered usually when the first week of the transaction. So let's say in the first 7-10 days, the pest and home inspection is done by the buyer or any other inspections they want. The appraisal is being done by the lender also that the buyer has. The appraisal will note any deficiencies with the home that are deficient to the point where the lender won't lend the money. The lender won't lend the money if an appraiser for the lender calls out certain things that have to be done. It could be smoke detectors are not installed, or carbon monoxide detectors. That's a legal requirement by a seller. Could be a double strapped water heater, maybe with a water heater pan for drainage underneath is not installed. Those may need to be done. It could be torn carpet that's a tripping hazard. Somebody could get hurt, or a broken window that you could cut your hand on. Health and safety issues. All these could be appraisal issues and more. Generally speaking, appraisers don't have a lot of issues to write down, and most of the time they don't write down any request for repairs. Sellers take care of those before they list a home in many cases, but sometimes there is. That will also go on the request for repairs from a buyer to the seller. That's why we say, buyers, hold on, do your pest, do your home inspection, pool, roof, whatever it is. Wait for the appraisal to come in too before the 17-day period, your due diligence time, and see if there's any repairs on that appraisal. And also, if the appraisal amount came in at the value you offered on the property. So let's say the home was 500,000, you offered 500, appraisal came in at 500, you're good. But if the appraisal comes in at 490, then you would want your agent, as we would do, to send a copy of the appraisal with the request for repairs and a reduction of the appraised value down to 490, because that's all the lender will lend. That's why you want the appraisal, home inspection, pest, and all the request for repairs all at one time, to go to the seller one time, so that emotions don't get involved. If a seller doesn't feel they're being taken advantage of, and the buyer has a better chance to achieve all the things that they want, and the seller doesn't have to agree to reduce to appraised value, and they don't have to agree to the repairs. In California, property is sold per the residential purchase agreement as is. It's always as is. Even if you don't write it in, it's in there. It's as is. So buyers can ask, the seller doesn't have to agree. Buyer can cancel within the due diligence time period of 17 days or whatever was agreed upon in the transaction. The appraisal has to be done in the time period also that's agreed upon. So that's the importance to both parties, sellers and buyers. It protects everybody. I think it's a good thing for the consumer, the seller and the buyer in real estate. And that's really it. Not to complicate it any more than that. It's just knowing, having a good real estate agent that understands all this, knows how to negotiate property for their client, seller or buyer, and make the transaction close. So I'm Greg Wrights, Wrights Real Estate Team, Fresno, California, here with Kylie Wrights, Stephanie Madrigal, and Jamie Duke, all here looking out for you, our sellers and buyers, anybody that needs information in real estate. Call Greg, 559-260-1777, or text me at 559-260-1777. Writes team, FresnoMadera.com. Have a great day. Always available. Bye now.